Wow. I don't know what is going on with this thing.
Well, if I could help you. If you don't hurry, we'll miss the first touchdown. And I promise it's going to happen quick. It was a pass to Ryder Miller, loss of a yard.
Okay.
Well spotted at the 17-yard line will make 3rd and 3 now for the Falcons.
10 to the 18 to the 17. Let's see. 6 minus 1. Pick.
Interception by Maddox Harris. At the 23, returned it to the 17. So 6-yard return.
Okay. Let's try this.
Takeout at 5:40.
InfoWest, the Rally Stop and Jenkins Oil, Brad's Food Hut, We Win Injury Law, Carter Creek Concrete to Go, Fizz Drinks on 56, and Midtown Tire and Auto. And now it's time for the game.
Well, our apologies on some technical issues getting started on tonight's game. Welcome to the JRI Insurance pregame show. And we're done with the JRI Insurance pregame show.
Thank you for your money.
Ryan Steinekert here with Cleve Weaver. Canyon View got it to start, an illegal block, and they backed themselves up all the way to the 10. 2 plays later, an interception by, who was that, Cleve?
Maddox Harris.
Maddox Harris of Cedar, and the Reds have a 3rd and 6 at the Canyon View 13. Kelling in the gun with a trips right and a man in motion out to the right. So 4 receivers out there. Quick slant over the middle and knocked away, incomplete by the defense. It'll be 4th and 6.
Slade Parsons, the intended receiver there, and the Canyon View defender, number 14. Ryan, you're going to have to help me out with that. Did a great job of going long arm over, knocking that ball down without getting a pass interference call. That's not something that most high school kids can do. I apologize tonight that Jason Jacobson's not here. Those of you that are expecting him to be with Ryan, he is unavailable tonight. And Ryan and I will be handling this. And great pleasure to work with the legendary Ryan Steinecker.
I don't know about legendary Cleve, but
well, you've been a lot of places and done a lot of games, my friend.
4th and 6, and Cedar will go for it. Ball right in the middle of the field. 2 receivers left, 2 out wide right in a spread formation. And Daxton DeMille goes in motion, so trips out right. Kelling alone in the gun. Taking their time. Kelling gets the snap. Quick out, left side, caught down inside the 7 to the 6. First down and a little more for the Reds.
Braden Payne on that reception.
Again, our apologies on some technical issues right before the game. We had things all set up and running just fine, and then before our pregame started, everything just died. JRI Insurance, your hometown partners for auto, home, and business coverage, committed to providing you with the very best products, pricing, and the very best service. That a 10-yard pickup for the Reds, and they have a 1st and goal inside the Canyon View 6. Ball on the left hash with a trips right, man in motion right to this near side, goes into the backfield. That's Crane. Handoff up the middle and nowhere to go. Maybe 1 yard to the 5. 2nd and goal coming up.
And Braxton DeMille was injured his shoulder last week, and Daxton has carried the majority of the load thus far. But even as I speak, Braxton comes into the game. We get down to the goal line, and DeMille, who is one of the leading rushers in the entire state, number 6 in this whole state with 865 yards, and 1st in 3A, back into the game for the Reds, looking to see if they can punch this one into the end zone.
So a 2nd down and goal for this Reds offense. Handoff, running left, got the corner, 5, and corner of the end zone, inching into the end zone, touchdown, Canyon View, and on the carry
is DeMille.
Braxton DeMille with his 9th touchdown of the season. This one from 6 yards out, and Cedar leads 6-0.
And running in there right behind number 58, that is Jackson Olmstead leading the way.
That puts Cedar up 6-0 on the State Bank of Southern Utah scoreboard. Extra point on the way. And is that Rake Marsh?
No, that is Cody Stevenson on the kick.
Stevens, go ahead.
And Braven Williams on the hold, and it's good. The Reds bring the score to 7-0 with 7:45 left in the first quarter, so you now can know how much of the game you missed. You missed about 6 plays, but that's quite a bit of time, as you missed a rush and a pass, but from Canyon View, an interception by Cedar, and then, of course, we were able to get back on the board. You also missed an illegal block.
The illegal block, thank you.
Yep.
Scoreboard is brought to you by State Bank of Southern Utah. State Bank of Southern Utah, your hometown bank since 1957 with 17 locations to serve you. State Bank, locally owned, community grown. And with 7:45 left in the first quarter on the We Win Injury Law clock. If you're injured in an accident, the clock is ticking. Insurance companies have lawyers working for them. We Win Injury Law will fight and win for you, period. Visit their office on South Main in Cedar City or at 435wewin.com. Well, again, our apologies on those technical issues to begin with, but we're back in place. Cedar kicking off for a 2nd time already tonight. Fielded down around the 5 by Canyon View. Across the 15, 20, broken tackle, and then brought down by a handful of Reds at the 22.
Yeah, and led there by number 11, Trent Twitchell, who I would call a strong safety. I don't know what Cedar calls him in their defense. Cedar runs a 4-2, and Trent, they list him as an outside linebacker, but I would call him more of a strong safety.
So 1st and 10, Canyon View, 7:37 left in this the We Win Injury Law clock first quarter. Ball in the left hash for Canyon View in the home black uniforms. Blue numerals, blue helmets. And in the shotgun is not Ryder Miller, but Owen Williams. Handoff, go running right, and looked like there would be a little bit of a room, and then just a hard tackle right at 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Dax Wanker, the leading tackler in all of 3A, met him right there in the hole. And Wanker throws himself around with reckless abandon. Let's hope he's strong, or he's going to dislocate his shoulder before this year's over.
Canyon View's been interesting. They started the season with Ryder Miller at quarterback. He's now moved to wide out. Sophomore Owen Williams in at quarterback, and threw his first pick of the season just on their last possession. Shotgun formation, ball in the middle of the field for a 2nd and 9. Man in motion, Owen turns and gives to Sheridan again. Good hole left side. He runs into a red and pushes forward out to the 30. Will bring up a 3rd and 2.
Sheridan finds the seam and then some tough running, pushes the ball up to the 30. Going to bring up 3rd down and 2 for the Falcons.
So a 3rd and 2. Falcons at their own 30. Sheridan picks up about 6 on that carry.
The Reds flying around there making some tackles. Still got a few technical difficulties we're trying to work out. A little frenzied in the booth right now.
3rd and 2 for Canyon View. This team averages 6.4 yards per carry on the ground. Cedar's defense has allowed less than 100 rushing yards 3 different times this season. I should say less than 60 rushing yards in 3 different games this season. Hard count, though, and Cedar jumps. It'll be a 1st down for Canyon View.
You know, and that's a thing that you can get to happen in a game like this. Big emotions. All these kids know each other. Most of them have known each other their whole lives. It might seem like a big town, but it's not. The kids know each other, and there's a lot of emotion tonight. And a wise move by Canyon View to get the easy jump and the easy 5 yards for the 1st down, bringing them out to the 35-yard line, and not probably the best field position they've had this evening.
So 1st and 10, Canyon View at its own 35. This drive started at their own 22. 5:41 left on the We Win injury law clock. 7-0 Cedar leads on the State Bank scoreboard. Ball on the left hash in the gun. Miller hands off, or not Miller, but Williams hands off again, and up the middle, not much room. Yard, maybe 2 for Sheridan.
And coming off that pile for the Reds is Caleb Brinkerhoff from the left end position.
2 yards for Sheridan. Jace Floyd was started this season as the feature back for this team, but Camden Sheridan has kind of overtaken him, has 367 rushing yards coming into tonight. 2nd and 8, ball on the left hash. Williams looking to throw. Over the middle, deflected, almost picked off out on that far sideline, but incomplete.
And junior Togai Bloomfield almost there on the interception as they bring him from that middle linebacker position out of the Reds 4-2 defense and bring him out there to defend on the edge. Maybe not the best place for him, but we'll look to see if this scheme plays out for the Reds.
So a 2nd and 8. Owen Williams, just 1 game so far. This will be his 2nd game at quarterback for Canyon View. He completed 63% of his passes last week in Canyon View's loss against Juab, 39-10. And he's in the shotgun.
Timeout by Canyon View.
A timeout, Falcons. So we'll take one as well. This will be a Fizz on 56 timeout. We'll be back in 1 minute here on KSUB 590, 107.3.
Cedar City, show your game ticket at Cedar Shake. Score amazing deals. 50% off. Double deluxe smash burger. Just $10.
Okay. Ball in the left hash. Reds in the road white uniforms, gold helmets. And a long throw down the left sideline, wide open but overthrown and out of bounds. Williams had a man streaking down that left side. Ryder Miller, former quarterback for this team, but incomplete and 4th and 8.
And a nice catch by the Reds defensive back coach. I'd let you know his name, but I don't know it. But heck of a catch by him if you're his mom listening to us tonight. Back we have Hunter Burgess and Brevin Williams back to return this kick.
And the punt, a low and short kick and out of bounds. Not a great punt.
No, and it looked like he was trying to pin it to the sideline, and you kind of wonder why, because I've done all the Cedar games, and their return team's been solid but not stellar. I don't know if Canyon View's coverage team has not been very good, but to me that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Brevin Williams has been the main punt returner for Cedar, averaging almost 6 yards per return with a long of 12, so nothing fantastic. But Cedar gets excellent field position from its own 47, Cleve?
That's what I think they've got it marked at.
First quarter, 4:39 left, 7-0 Reds. A 5-yard touchdown run by Braxton DeMille earlier after an interception from this Reds defense. This time they force the punt, and from the shotgun, Kelling throws over the middle, caught and around the corner, 50 to the 40, cutting outside to the sideline, all the way inside the 35 goes Slade Parsons, and he's pushed out around the 32.
You know, and other than the week that Parsons was out, he has been the Reds' #1 target offensively and done some real damage this year. I believe he had 3 touchdowns in one game. As Kelling takes the snap, looking again for Parsons, and got him in the corner for a touchdown.
2 quick strikes to Parsons, Slade Parsons' 9th touchdown of the season. He catches one from 21 yards on this drive, and then another for 32 yards, and the score, and Cedar leads 13-0.
Oh, no, I apologize on that great catch on the sideline. That was none other than Cedar High School's head coach, Ty Hyatt. Dressed a little differently tonight, but nice job by the coach in the catch, and now the touchdown by Slade Parsons with the catch.
Parsons' longest touchdown catch of the season, a 75-yard catch. This one for 32 and the score. Extra point brought to you by Straight Shootin'. Double tap ammo is kicked up and through. Cedar leads 14-0, and we will take a 30-second timeout and be right back on KSUB 590 107.3. Following that Fizz on 56 timeout, the Reds quick work on that last drive, just 2 plays to go 53 yards, extra point good, and Cedar leads 14-0. Cleve, Cedar dominating so far.
Yes, and they're just putting it to them and showing what kind of team they have. The Falcons can get back in this game and get a good return right there out to the 25-yard line, and that's number 11 for the Falcons.
Malik Rigby.
Hey, that's my nephew right there. Number 11's my nephew. Imagine that.
Rigby takes it out to the 24, 1st and 10, Canyon View. First quarter still. 4:18 left in this first period on the We Win Injury Law clock. We'll have, during your halftime show, the Rally Stop Region Roundup. Again, we want to thank JRI Insurance, our pregame sponsor. Williams takes the snap and gives right side Hudson Springer. Strong run across the 35 and out to about the 43. There are no starters. That's Camden Sheridan again.
Cameron Sheridan there, and number 17, Rake Marsh, a defensive end on that tackle way out there on the edge.
all the way out to the 38, 14 yards for Camden Sheridan, who comes in averaging 6.5 yards per carry. He's got 21 yards. No, that's different player. I mean, I'm just trying to catch up on my math still here. 5 carries, 30 yards for Sheridan in the early going.
Tell you what, that's a solid running back that they have.
Sheridan, a junior, gets it again up the middle and bowls his way across the 40 to the 42, a gain of 4.
Kind of faked that counter tray there to the right and then just dove him in there behind it. A nice looking play for the Falcons.
So Canyon View trails 14-0 on the State Bank scoreboard. State Bank of Southern Utah, your hometown bank since 1957. They have 17 locations to better serve you. State Bank, locally owned and community grown. Ball on the right hash for a 2nd and 6. Ryder Miller back in at quarterback, hands to Sheridan, breaks 1 tackle, spins ahead to the 44 for a tough gain of 2, and brings up a 3rd and about 4.
And the Reds continuing to make the yards hard for the Falcons as they bring up a short 5 for the 3rd down.
Out wide to the right goes Brock Neighbors, one of the leading receivers on this Falcons team. They've not been fantastic through the air, something they could work to improve. Camden Sheridan gets the handoff up the middle and has a good hole and then pushes his way across the 50 into Reds territory and moves the chains.
Yeah, and junior Togai Bloomfield in there on the tackle for the Reds. But that run game up the middle for the Falcons as efficient as any run game has been against the Reds all year.
The Reds' run defense has been excellent. Against Bear River, they only allowed 60 yards. Pineview only 16 rushing yards. Miller fakes the handoff to Sheridan, keeps it himself. Left side, has some room. Inside the 40, upended at the 35 or 36, and a gain of about 10.
And Brayson Williams there on the tackle and another 1st down for the Falcons as they march. As I was talking to some of my friends today, I said a key to the game is whoever can stop the other team from scoring is going to win, because I feel like both of these teams move the ball effectively, and as I've seen the Reds games, sometimes they struggle in stopping people.
Canyon View almost 200 yards rushing per game. Cedar has 2 of the top 5 rushers in the classification. They average almost 240 per game. Sheridan gets it again. Starting right, hesitates, stutters up the middle inside the 30 to the 29, a gain of 7.
And this offensive line of the Falcons doing some damage against the Reds defensive line and getting a body on Wanker all the time, and Wanker not being the normal force that he has been on defense so far tonight.
Go ahead.
Stockton Ramos and Dominic McGarvey in there, your D tackles.
Camden Sheridan already 8 carries, 47 yards. Falcons, though, turned it over on their first possession. Cedar capitalized, forced a punt, and scored again. It's 14-0 Reds on the State Bank scoreboard. Sheridan again, right up the middle, inside the 35. He's got a good hole to the 24.
And another 1st down for the Falcons as they continue to march the ball right down the middle of the field, right down the middle against that Reds defense as they're getting under the pads there of the defensive linemen and driving them and getting a good body and getting some angles on the middle linebackers in that 4-2 front.
1:20 left, first quarter on the We Win injury law clock. 2 receivers left, one wide out by himself to the right, ball near the middle between the hashes. And again, Sheridan, a heavy dose of Camden Sheridan. This time the Reds bottle him up for a gain of just a couple to the 21.
And this time Wanker was able to fight off that block and maintain his position there in the hole and make the tackle for just a small gain when you compare it to the others.
Reds come in at 7-0. Canyon View at 4-3 on the season. Ryder Miller fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, dances forward inside the 20, just back to the line of scrimmage, or no, what gain of 2 to the 19.
And Togai Bloomfield again on that tackle.
So a 3rd and 5. Canyon View knocking on the door. They're into the red zone at the 19 of Cedar. Reds lead 14-0 on the State Bank scoreboard. Handoff to Sheridan, left side, trying to break a tackle. He gets to the 17 and will be a couple yards short of the first down.
And I think you're in the 4-down territory here. Sheridan, a good running back, and really gets in there.
That takes us to the end of the first quarter. State passing leaders are the Pioneer Floor Covering and Design. Second quarter coming up in just a bit. 14-0 Reds on the State Bank scoreboard. Back in 1 minute with more on 107.3 590 KSUB.
Launch your career with SUU's professional sales program. Stand out in today's job market with hands-on experience and real-world results. Learn to sell yourself, your ideas, and your business. Master sales, management, and entrepreneurship. Connect with industry leaders through competitions, networking, and internships. Land high-paying careers after graduation. Whether starting your own business or climbing the corporate ladder, sales skills are your secret weapon. Partner with SUU. Hire the best. Be the best on campus at Southern Utah University.
In our 150th year of service, everywhere you look, Zions Bank people are ready to work hard for you.
We're here and ready to go.
Wherever you are, we're right there with you.
We will help make it simple and easier.
We have all the big bank services delivered locally.
Isn't it time to see how 150 years of experience can work for you?
Zions Bank.
We are here to help right now.
We want to serve you.
Now more than ever, Zions Bank is for you.
Back with the Canyon View Falcons facing a 4th and 2 at the Cedar Reds 17. From the gun, Miller takes the snap, has a man wide open right side, spinning, catching, touchdown. Canyon View on the board, a 17-yard touchdown pass from Ryder Miller. And I didn't catch who made the catch.
That is number 9, as I'm looking on our little replay here, which is handy but small.
So that's Will Little on the catch. Has not made an impact in the passing or the receiving game this season, but makes the catch there, unless
I've got the wrong number, yeah. And that's entirely possible.
Either way, it's a 17-yard touchdown, and Canyon View is on the board, trailing 14-6 with the double tap ammo straight shooting PAT on the way, and good. 14-7 on the State Bank scoreboard. Canyon View cuts into the deficit. We'll take a quick timeout and be back in 1 minute on KSUB 107.3 590. Okay. Plays, 76 yards, 4 minutes, 23 seconds off the clock, and Canyon View's Ryder Miller finds, it might have been Brock Neighbors. He's a more heavily
that's what I would guess too.
Here's the kickoff from Canyon View. It's bobbled and lost, then gone back to the 3, picked up, and Cedar will be tackled deep in their own territory on this kick return. Not a great return.
And generally Slade Parsons, a great return man, but he misjudged that, and that went through his legs like Bill Buckner in the 86 series. You're probably not even old enough to remember that.
You're talking Red Sox and Yankees, right?
Yep, that was before your time.
That was before the curse. Well, that was before the Red Sox broke the curse.
Yep,
obviously.
That was right in there. And I have a funny story about Bill Buckner that I'll tell you one of these days.
Cedar from its own 7, a 1st and 10. They lead 14-7. Kelling hands off, and little bit of room off the left side, pushing out to the 9 for a gain of 2.
I believe that was Braxton DeMille on the carry.
He's got 3 carries for 9 yards, including a 7-yard touchdown earlier tonight.
No, that was Daxton.
Daxton, thank you.
Had the touchdown. Braxton just had that catch. And Crowley on the catch right there. Number 4, Crowley on the catch. And bringing that out to close to a first down. And now back into the game is Daxton DeMille. Or excuse me, Braxton DeMille.
Braxton
DeMille. Daxton is 2, Braxton is 35. Thank you, DeMille boys, for naming your boys so closely.
I'll get that figured out at some point tonight. 2 receivers left. Crowley in motion right to left, sets up a trips to that left side, handoff up the middle, and maybe safe to just say DeMille carries it forward for a first down and more to the 23.
And I'm way better at being able to tell you which one the dad is than which one the boy is, because they both run and look just like their dad did back in the old days.
What I need to look for, Braxton DeMille wears number 35, has 865 rushing yards this season. He's the top running back by yardage in the state of Utah in 3A, and among the top rushers in all classifications. He's number 6 in all of Utah in yards this season. Gives the Reds a first down at their own 23. Gets it again, running around the right side, looking for the corner. Will not get it. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Maybe even lost a yard.
Just right at the line of scrimmage, bringing up, no, they're going to mark him back 1. And it's going to be 2nd down and 11 for the Reds as they were unable to get that corner.
This Canyon View defense has
doing a nice job of stringing it out.
Yeah. They've allowed 121 yards rushing per game. Compared to the Reds, their defense has allowed 82 rushing yards per night. A 2nd down and 10 for the Reds. They lead 14-7. Ball at their own 23. Kelling fakes a handoff, quick play action, and a quick throw out to the left side. It's a low throw and incomplete.
And that's Brevin Williams on that one hopper into his arms. Great play call, and everybody out there that's listened to me knows how I like that quick slant or that quick post off that back side. Seems to be one you can always have open.
9:38 left on the We Win Injury Law clock, 2nd quarter.
If we had scores around, we'd give you Rally Stop Region Roundup, but we don't have any scores from anywhere else tonight.
Reds lead 14-7 here at SUU, the home game for Canyon View for the Falcons. 14-7 on the State Bank scoreboard. Ryan Steinekert here with Cleve Weaver. Canyon View has put the Reds in a 3rd and long, a 3rd and 11. 2 receivers left, 1 wide right. And in motion to the left side is Brent Martin. Kelling takes the snap from the gun, hesitates, then throws out to the left side, caught at the 29 and out of bounds at the 30. That'll be about 4 yards short of the first down. Nice pitch and catch, but not enough.
Yeah, Crane on that catch, but I think you're going to see the punt team that includes Everett Kelling, the starting quarterback, as the punter for the Reds, as the Falcons drop back to receive this kick.
And Kelling has done a nice job punting this season, almost 45 yards per punt. He's knocked 5 of his punts inside the 20. 6-yard gain brings up a 4th and 4, and Cedar lined up looking to punt this one away. Kelling running to his right and boots it. A low line drive, bounces and takes a Cedar bounce inside the 30 down to the 25. The Reds down it there.
Yeah, and I'm a big proponent of the rugby style kick, running, kind of give your team a little longer to get down there, not kicking it very high so they can't return it, and usually it just runs and runs, and I thought that one would run a little bit further. For those of you watching at home, this field is a great background to watch football. You can see the numbers, you can see the jerseys. What a great place, and what a view. Hey, we brag about Cedar High's view, Chris and I do all the time, but this might be a better view right here, right in the middle of town.
1st and 10. Canyon View from its own 25 is where that ball finally rolled and stopped to. Canyon View attacking right to left from our view. Miller back at quarterback, fakes the handoff, keeps it up the middle, crosses the 28, spins out to the 30 for a 5-yard gain.
Tackled there by Ludlow and Wanker. And on your Rally Stop Region Roundup, Juab 7, Richfield 0 with 8 minutes left in the first quarter. Thank you, Chris Holmes.
Indeed. Thanks, Chris, for that score. So a 2nd and 5. Canyon View trails 14-7 with 8:38 left on the We Win injury law clock. Quick pitch out left side and out across the 35 to the 36 goes Camden Sheridan, and that'll move the chains for Canyon View.
And in another local game, Kanab 14, Enterprise 6, 3:44 left in the first quarter.
Sheridan, the workhorse already tonight. 11 carries, 61 yards.
And he's getting close to, even at 60 to 80, and you're still early in the second quarter, that's pretty close to the 80 yards that the Reds generally give up.
A first down and a little bit more to the 36. Canyon View a 1st and 10. Miller fakes the handoff and again keeps it himself up the middle. Dances to his left, dives out to the 39, a gain of 3.
And Madden Persons there on the tackle from the right end position.
I want to thank again and apologize. We did not get a JRI Insurance pregame show in, but JRI Insurance is your hometown partner for auto, home, and business coverage, committed to providing you with the very best products, pricing, and the very best service. And with several locations throughout the state to better serve you.
We've got Beaver 14, Parowan 0.
Miller takes the snap, fakes to Sheridan, big hole left side across the 50, Cedar territory, left sideline 40, dances inside the 35 all the way to the Cedar 32, finally pushed out.
And right there on the sideline, the offensive receiver there for the Falcons mugging number 7, Maddox Harris of the Reds. And a call, if you run that play to the Red sideline, that's a hold every time. You run it to your own sideline, that's a great job, and a great job of being aware of where you are and what you can get away with in football.
Ryder Miller comes into the game 4th in 3A in rushing yards and has 61 yards. A give up the middle to Sheridan, and he's got a big hole inside the 20, inside the 15, all the way to the 14.
And Cox there on the tackle for the Reds. Got Milford 19, Water Canyon 0. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. That score from Beaver Parowan was at the end of the first quarter, so we may not get you some region scores, but we'll get you some regional scores tonight on your Rally Stop Regional Roundup.
Miller hands again to Sheridan, and lots of defensive penetration in the backfield. He's brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
And Wanker right there on the backfield on a little blitz, getting there before the defensive end. Wanker just has a nose for the football, and if you do not get a body on him, he will get a helmet on you.
6:41 left, second quarter on the We Win injury law clock, 14-7. Canyon View trails on the State Bank scoreboard, but knocking on the door. 2nd and 10 at the Cedar 14. It's been almost all on the ground. Canyon View with 16 passing yards. They try to go to the air again, and it's deflected and incomplete, in and out of the hands of Zach Main.
And I talk about that quick slant, but it's there, and it was there again, but the Reds and Maddox Harris were able to knock that one down.
So a 3rd and long from the left hash. Coach Burke Miller looks like he wants a timeout. We'll take it as well. A Fizz on 56 timeout back in 1 minute. KSUB 590, 107.3.
Longtime supporters of Southern Utah University, Cedar City's Hampton Inn, Holiday Inn, and Spring Hill Suites features complimentary breakfast, indoor pool, hot tub, and free wireless internet. Our Courtyard Marriott features a full bar and restaurant with indoor-outdoor dining and some of Cedar City's best eats. Banquet and meeting space provide modern functional accommodations for your wedding, reunion, or business meeting. Ask about our SKU discount when booking your next stay while you're in town to cheer on the Thunderbirds.
Really close to anywhere.
107.7 107.3, 590 KSUB on a 3rd and 10. Miller up the middle, and he's got space into the end zone. Touchdown. Canyon View can tie it up.
6:15 in the second quarter. The score now 14-13 as the Falcons head onto the field to kick a PAT.
Falcons defense has gotten a couple Carter Creek Concrete to go defensive stops. Their offense has come alive mostly on the ground, Cleve.
Mostly on the ground, something that we didn't see coming, as the Reds have only given up an average of 80 yards and given up less than 60 yards several times, something that we were not expecting from anyone, especially maybe tonight.
Canyon View already with almost 140 rushing yards. The double tap ammo straight shooting PAT try is up straight through. You can only ever be as accurate as the ammo you shoot. Manufactured right here in Cedar City for over 20 years now. Visit doubletapammo.com. Kick is good. We are tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Back in a minute on KSUB 590 107.3. Martin?
I think so. Yep. And Brent Martin, a good ball carrier when he gets a chance to run the ball. Hasn't had a lot of passes thrown to him this year, being used more as a blocking tight end than as a receiving tight end. But I think you'll see someday a big screen pass to him. If not Ty Hyatt's not the coach I think he is.
Canyon View. Squibb kicks it. Cedar fields it. Brent Martin returns out to the 31. 1st and 10 Reds with 6:09 left here in this first half. We're tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Man in motion from left to right. Gives us trips right. Kelling back to throw. Pressure comes, and he gets away. Throws it with his left hand. Finds a receiver somehow who pushes forward across the 30 to the 32 and a gain of 1.
What do you think he grabbed that spun him around like that? Because it looked to me like a face mask, but Gene Van Orden, the white hat, right there and doesn't throw a flag, and he throws a completion with his left hand for no gain.
Right back to the line of scrimmage is all on that completion. Kelling 7 of 8 for 78 yards. Kelling turns and hands up the middle. DeMille, nice big hole across the 35 to the 37. 3rd and short coming up.
And the Reds needed that one, as the Falcons' defense has been able to stifle them on several occasions. But number 2, Daxton DeMille on that carry.
Daxton with 2 carries, 8 yards in the game. Cedars had 2 short fields when they scored. Their other time when they started at their own 7, they went 5 plays and punted. Face a 3rd and 4 at their own 36. Kelling swings it out right side. Caught 40 and no more. Very close to a first down. Dylan Crowley. It depends on where they spot it. They needed the 41. Looks like the line judge spots it at the 40, a yard short.
And I think you'll see the Reds go for it. There's a little Todd Peacock and Ty Hyatt. I know you weren't around when Todd was here, but Todd was way more likely to go for it on 4th down than to ever punt.
Timeout on the field. We'll keep it right here for a Fizz on 56 timeout with hundreds of signature menu items and thousands of drink combinations. Refresh yourself at Fizz on 56 at the corner of Cross Hollow Road and Aviation Way. It's the only Fizz in town that's locally owned. Fun fact, Cleve, when I was a student at SUU, I called 2 seasons of Cedar High football when Todd Peacock was the coach. They made it to the semifinals both years, and I know you know who they lost to.
Yeah, they lost to Bear River. I was there both times. Right. Fun fact from that, we had more rushing attempts than passing yards.
with Warby and West.
With Warby
Joe
and
West
and Pickett
yeah.
and with Jordan Wood.
Yes,
those 4
yes.
guys rushed for a lot of yards, but we had less punts than we had games.
Yeah.
Less punts than we had games that year.
4th down and 1. Cedar going for it. Kelling in the gun. Twins left, 1 receiver wide right. Maybe thinking about a hard count. Not really. Kelling back to throw. Nope, keeps it. Big hole up the middle. 1st down. Breaks a tackle. 45 all the way into Canyon View territory to the 49. Needed 1. Picks up 11.
And if you've watched Cedar this year, and I'm not sure how many of you Falcon fans have, Everett sometimes has been known to try to take things on his own shoulders and do things that maybe he shouldn't. And tonight, right there, that's exactly when he should have carried the ball. Everett, a very capable ball carrier. But if you're a Reds fan, he's a player that you do not want to get hurt, and you know that the Reds cannot live without.
Averages almost better than 13.5 yards per carry when he runs it. Twins again to the left. Kelling back to throw. Spins out to his left and throws back across the middle. Not sure who he was looking for, either overthrew one man or badly underthrew the other.
No, let's say he threw it to no one. So that was a long time ago. And I'd coached a long time when we got there, but that was a fun group of kids. We had Brady Matheson and Dakota Sims the one year. Craig Carter, our utility quarterback, a great kid. We've had him play quarterback because he was smart enough to remember all the plays and the formations for everybody else, and he just managed the team. He led us to the first year we went there. He led us to an overtime victory down at Pineview. Pineview was 5-0 and we were 0-6. No, they were 5-0 and we were 0-6.
Yep.
And we made it from there to the state semifinals.
And it was a low scoring, like 24-21 overtime.
It was
21-19 or something.
22-21.
22-21.
Yep.
Kelling back to throw. There was a hold penalty, so repeat 1st down and 20. Throws out left and again overthrows his intended receiver, incomplete.
I'll have to tell my wife that there's another one of me in the world that remembers strange details from games from a long ways away.
That was so memorable. You start 0-6, and then the Reds won, I think, 5 in a row, made the playoffs all the way to the semifinals.
Yep.
And lost to Bear River.
Well, and we were fortunate in the opening round. We were able to get in as the 4 and beat a 1
at Tooele.
And
right?
No, and then Tooele came down here after they were a 3 and beat a 2, and then we were able to beat Tooele.
Second
quarterfinals.
20, Kelling gives to DeMille, right side, little bit of room and pushes the pile out to the 44, a gain of 3, 3rd and long.
And not that it really would have made a difference in that game, but we did lose to Pineview at home, and I promise you the Pineview quarterback bounced it, and 25 yards later their receiver caught it and the ref called it a catch. It was the most unbelievably horrid call I've ever seen in my life. And if I didn't like the referee's wife, I'd tell you his name.
Just over 3 minutes left in the We Win injury law clock. Second quarter, we're tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard. On a 3rd and 18, Kelling throws deep over the middle and overthrows just barely his intended receiver, Braden Crane. Incomplete. That's 3 state incompletions for Kelling.
Yep. And as Kelling goes to the sideline, trick play or punt. What do we got here? He's going to the sideline. And Everett's not coming back out. Maybe we'll see another punter tonight.
We have seen Peyton Ludlow do a fair amount of punting for this Cedar team. He averages 43 yards per punt with a long of 45. And he's at his own 30 to boot this one away. I believe it's Brock Neighbors back to return for Canyon View. Tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard. A flag flies, and it's going to be a delay of game, I believe, against Cedar. 2:57 left in the second quarter.
I think that's too many people on the field.
It might be.
Because he's holding his hands over his chest like that.
You're right, and you can see the official, the back official counting. And now the play clock was down to 0, but illegal substitution on the defense. First penalty of the night against Canyon View.
Still won't help the Reds be close to a 1st down, as it's still 12 or 13 yards for a 1st down.
Right. So 4th and 12, a little closer to midfield, though, at their own 48. And Ludlow to boot this one away. High snap. He goes up and gets it and kicks it high and deep. Good strong punt, fair caught at the 18. That's where Canyon View will take over. 1st and 10 with 2:51 left in the second quarter.
A great job there by the Pineview punt receiver to catch that. That's something that I am going to bet that I never would have had guts to do if I'd had the talent to do. But that to me seems terrifying, to try to catch a ball and run with it when the whole world's running at you.
14-14, we are tied on the State Bank scoreboard. We'll have your Pioneer Flooring and Design state passing leaders here in just a moment. But Canyon View with the ball. Miller fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, somehow dances and spins forward across the 20, all the way to the 24, gain of 5.
And tackled there by the linebacking core of the Reds of Wanker and Togai Bloomfield and Trent. I don't know when my brain went. Trent Twitchell on that tackle. His mom even named him a good name to remember. And I forgot.
Brent?
Trent Twitchell.
Trent.
2 T's together. You should be able to remember that, shouldn't you? After calling his name for 2 years.
Gain of 5 brings up a 2nd and 5. Canyon View's offense has been all run. Miller looks to hand off left. His running back went on his right side, and so Miller tucks it and gets back almost to the line of scrimmage.
And it wasn't so much that he went to the wrong side, it's just the timing of Miller was waiting for him to run by, and he never did, and so he didn't ever get in there behind the blockers, and so the Reds were able to hold them to a nominal gain.
So a 3rd and 5, Canyon View. They started this game with Owen Williams at quarterback. He went 1 for 4 for -1 yard and a pick. Miller in at quarterback, fakes the handoff, cannot get away from the Reds defense. 4-5 in the pack of Reds, and they bring him down back at the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Yeah, and number 60 there for the tackle for the Reds. And that is Cam Hassler, a senior defensive tackle and the biggest player on the Reds team.
So Canyon View goes nowhere on 3 plays, and Cedar calls a timeout to try and stop the clock at 1:33 on the We Win Injury Law clock, second quarter. 14-14, we're tied on the State Bank scoreboard, and Cedar wants to get the ball back with a chance to score before the half.
And the Reds will have 2 timeouts. This is a foreign clock to me, so yep, there's the timeouts for the Reds, the TO on the bottom right, and 2 timeouts left.
Here's your Pioneer Flooring and Design top 3 passers in the 3A. Carter Mason from Manti, 1,800 yards. Price Armstrong from Juab, 1,800 yards. And Everett Kelling, number 3 on that list, coming into the game at just under 1,700 yards. Canyon View boots it away. A short punt fielded at the 44, and the ball pops free. It looks like Canyon View has it, and the way their sideline is celebrating, they do. Official indication, Canyon View football.
And, you know, with the Reds calling timeout, that's an invitation to try to score here as the Falcons have the ball inside the Reds' 50-yard line.
Well, spotted at the Reds' 47. And they have time with 1:27 but no timeouts left. Am I seeing that right?
For the Reds?
For the Canyon View.
None for the Canyon View. As Hassler and Uriah Sinaginian as the D tackles for the Reds.
Miller gives to Sheridan, starts right, bounces left inside the 40, breaks a tackle, trucks another defender to the 31.
And we've got a flag, and I think we're going to have a holding there downfield.
With 1:20 left in this first half, Canyon View's offense retreating after, I think you'll be right, Cleve. Pioneer Flooring and Design. For new flooring, don't pass up on flooring and design from Pioneer Flooring and Design Center for product ideas. Huge selection. They've got carpets, tiles, laminates, and great pricing on all of it. Pioneer Flooring and Design in the Providence Center and in St. George. So the hold took place down the field. That does help Canyon View a little bit. They'll spot them back to the 48, so it's really just a loss of 1.
And repeat first down, but the precious time ran off the clock. It's at 1:16 and running, and as Ryan said earlier, there are no timeouts available to the Falcons.
Canyon View with twins out to the right. Miller fakes the hand. No, does give it to Sheridan around the left side. This has been a one-dimensional offense. Sheridan inside the 45 to the 41 with under a minute to play in this first half.
And as far as running goes, yeah, one-dimensional, but they've been able to run it up the middle, around both edges, and the Falcons doing a nice job of just attacking the Reds wherever they would like.
7 more yards puts Sheridan at 86 rushing yards. Miller bobbles the snap, and by the time he has it firmly in hand, he is tackled back at the 45 with 34 seconds left in the first half.
And Persons and Winker and Tagai Bloomfield there on the tackle.
That takes 4 yards away from Ryder Miller's total of 10 carries, 69 yards, and a score so far tonight. 3rd and 8. Miller in the gun. Sheridan on his left hip. Fakes the handoff there. Looking down the field. Throws and almost picked off. His receiver cut out late, and the Cedar defender had a way better shot at it than Canyon View's receiver.
Yeah, and the Canyon View receiver didn't ever even break on that ball, as Gavin DeMille had good coverage on him. And Peyton Ludlow free over the top to this side, and Keaton Cox free over the top on the far side.
So Canyon View a 4th and 8 from the Cedar 45. They'll go for it here with 10 seconds left on the We Win injury law clock in this first half. Tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Miller back to throw. 4-man rush for Cedar. Has time, throws deep over the middle, in and out of the hands, and leveled is the receiver from Canyon View, and he is slow to get up. Helmet comes off. It looks like he's got the wind knocked out of him.
Oh, yep, and Wanker can do that to you, especially if you're over the middle with your hands up. Clean hit, no helmet involved there, but shoulder pads right in the guts, and that's going to hurt every time.
And I think that's Brock Neighbors. If I saw the number right before he went down, we'll hope that's all it is just a wind knocked
they're
out
calling
of him, but
for
it's
an
more,
ambulance
isn't it?
right here.
He took a hard hit, right? And again, like you said, nothing dirty about it. He was up high reaching for the ball. Clean hit, but it's a collision sport, and that's sometimes what happens.
Yeah, and when you're going against the biggest, most powerful linebacker the Reds have to offer, that is not something you're going to win at very often.
And not just the Reds. Dax Wanker came into the game with 75 tackles. That's number 1 in all of 3A Utah and number 9 in the entire state, all classifications.
Yeah, he's a solid linebacker for the Reds.
We'll take an injury timeout, Fizz on 56 injury timeout, and be back in 1 minute on KSUB 590 107.3. Here tonight, most of the opposing side, the Cedar, the visiting side bleachers are full. Most of the near side bleachers full as well. The home side, Canyon View. A good crowd here for Canyon View and Cedar, and we're tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard. 5 seconds left until the half. Brock Neighbors got up and walked off with a standing ovation from the crowd. Cedar a 1st and 10 after that turnover on downs. And from their own 45, Everett Kelling in the shotgun, and a whistle will blow it dead before the snap. Timeout, Cedar. We want to make this final play count. This is another Fizz on 56 timeout. We'll keep it right here. Fizz on 56. Tons of different menu items. They've got hundreds of different drinks, thousands of combinations. Refresh yourself at Fizz on 56. That's at the corner of Cross Hollow Road and Aviation Way. It's the only Fizz in town that is locally owned, Fizz on 56. I don't know if you caught me talking about it, Cleve, but Brock Neighbors was able to get up, walk off on his own, and looked like he was.
That's a fantastic thing after everybody was panicking out there and waving their arms, for him to be able to get up and walk off there under his own power.
So Cedar from its own 45 The Reds will get the kickoff to start second half action. They want to try to make one more thing happen here before the end of the first half, it would appear. Ball on the right hash, Twins left side, and DeMille goes in motion to the left side of Kelling's hip. Kelling steps up away from pressure and then gets hit as he throws, and it's picked off right side. Nowhere to go for that big lineman from Canyon View, but that will end the first half, and we are tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard.
And we're going to end with a penalty, and I'm not sure we're leaving the field.
So if that's a penalty against, well, I guess it depends on when the penalty came out. If it's like a hold or a pass interference.
I think it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct.
For celebration?
So I'm not sure
maybe
celebration is the right word, but it was a large display of emotion.
Noah Macias was the man who came away with the football, the interception. His first pick of the season. He's one of the leading tacklers for this Canyon View team, though, and a key in the offensive line. I don't know if you can hear that official. Wow, a personal foul that'll be enforced on the second half kickoff.
Did he say who it was against?
I did not hear him say who it was
against. And he didn't move his arms.
He did not. That was not. He didn't indicate who it was against or
in any way. We don't have a microphone out there coming into our earphones, so we don't know exactly. We have some scores now for our Rocky Ridge Region Roundup. Richfield 21, Juab 14, Manti 6, North San Pete 0, Ogden 14, Union Cougars 6, and no score to speak of that we can find out of Morgan and Grantsville. And it's all yours, right?
All right, there's your Region Roundup, brought to you by Rally Stop, top-tier gasolines, first-class customer service, and the cleanest restrooms in town, from I-80 in the north to St. George in the south. There's a Rally Stop station near you. We'll give you more on the Rally Stop Region Roundup when we return during our halftime show on the State Bank scoreboard, tied at 14. Cedar and Canyon View. The Reds will get it to start second half action, but we've got plenty coming up in your halftime show before we finish. So stay tuned. The Halftime Smile Report brought to you by Dr. Ryan Gunn and All About Smiles Dentistry coming up in 2 minutes on 107.3 590 KSUB.
Here at Culver's, we're known for our fresh, delicious food. What most of you don't know is for the last several years, we've been training Southern Utah's most elite basketball players. We have a lot of fun, but we expect perfection in our drills. Our training has proven to be effective. However, I'm starting to suspect they're only here for custard.
Who had the interception for Cedar?
It was Peyton Ludlow. No, excuse me, it was Maddox Harris. Maddox Harris on the side. It was White Horse up against Monticello.
Get on your feet.
I'm not sure how you're feeling about what the score is, whether it's surprise or shock or whatever it may be.
I'm going to go surprise.
You look on paper, and we didn't have a chance to talk about this in our JRI Insurance pregame show because we had some technical issues, but on paper it looked like Cedar would dominate this game. First 10 minutes,
yeah,
they were dominating.
Yeah, and Cedar, when they had good field position, their offense was good. But you got to talk about the Falcons and the job they're doing rushing the football against the Reds. They have twice as many yards, if I'm not mistaken, in the first half against the Reds as the Reds give up in a whole game. So you got to hand it to the offensive line of the Falcons, and they're just putting it to the Reds, and the Reds maybe come in a little overconfident. When you're 7-0, it's hard to not think you're pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And your crosstown rival. I think this game right here really makes it a rivalry, because even though that Canyon View is only won 5 times, you're not really a rivalry until every game is in question. I think that's why, when you go BYU, Utah, you go Michigan, Ohio State, that's what makes those games, Georgia, Alabama, when either team could win, no matter really what the record is, that's when a game becomes a rivalry and really fun for the observer, because I don't have a lot of skin in the game. I'm a longtime Reds guy, probably more a Redmen guy than a Reds guy back in the old days. But what a game we have so far tonight. For the fans, they're getting their money's worth. Great venue, exciting that SUU allows the high schools to play here.
Cedar comes in at 7-0, ranked number 1 in the RPI. The Canyon View Falcons at number 8 and in the RPI at 4-3 overall. But now you said something that almost makes me think you teach math. What do you teach, Cleve?
I teach health, but as I like to tell my wife, I'm more than a pretty face, and she doesn't think I'm either pretty or smart, so it always makes her laugh. So maybe I'm just funny.
Cedar allows on average 82.7, so let's say 83 yards rushing per game. Canyon View, I had them with 155. That's just about half of what, just about double what they allow per game. The Reds do. So Cedar or Canyon View's running game, and it's been led by Camden Sheridan and Ryder Miller. Sheridan 14 carries, 86 yards, and Ryder Miller with 10 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. We're tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard. This is your Dr. Ryan Gunn and All About Smiles Dentistry halftime report. A beautiful, healthy smile for life starts with the right dentist. Dr. Gunn and All About Smiles Dentistry provides the most comfortable, current, and affordable dental care possible at 409 South Main in Cedar City. That's Dr. Ryan Gunn and All About Smiles Dentistry. We'll have your roundup, Rally Stop Region Roundup, give some more scores again when we return with more and some other stats coming up after this on the Dr. Ryan Gunn and All About Smiles Dentistry halftime show in 2 minutes on 107.3 590 KSUB. I'm struggling to say 107.3. I have to think about it every time.
Launch your career with SUU's professional sales program. Stand out in today's job market with hands-on experience and real-world results. Learn to sell yourself, your ideas, and your business. Master sales, management, and entrepreneurship. Connect with industry leaders through competitions, networking, and internships. Land high-paying careers after graduation. Whether starting your own business or climbing the corporate ladder, sales skills are your secret weapon. Partner with SUU. Hire the best. Be the best on campus at Southern Utah University.
In our 150th year of service, everywhere you look, Zions Bank people are ready to work hard for you.
We're here and ready to go.
Wherever you are, we're right there with you.
We'll help make it simple and easier.
We have all the big bank services delivered locally.
Isn't it time to see how 150 years of experience can work for you?
Zions Bank.
We are here to help right now.
We want to serve you.
Now more than ever, Zions Bank is for you.
1 and 23. Don't do that.
Canyon View's won 3 times in the last 12 years. I know that.
across the state to better serve you. State Bank, locally owned and community grown. Ryan Steinekert here with Cleve Weaver. And Cleve, Cedar started out dominant. They got a pick. They scored 6 plays later. Their very next possession, they go 2 plays, 53 yards, and make it 14-0. But since then, the offense has struggled.
And, I don't know that Cedar City started so fast or that Canyon View started so slow. Canyon View came out a little tentative, a little scared, and the Reds short field position and kind of took it to them early. But the Falcons have been the ones that have kind of dominated the line of scrimmage right here, both offensively and defensively, as they've held the Reds' rushing attack, which has been formidable this year. And their offense and their running game with that Sheridan kid has been fantastic with him. And, it's kind of like when they put Ryder Miller back at quarterback, they decided maybe we're going to do what we do well and run and maybe throw a little bit. And the Falcons have looked impressive, better than they looked on paper, because this, of course, is the first time I've seen them live.
Falcons quarterbacks are combined 2 of 8 for 16 yards and a pick, but they're running the game 155 yards between Ryder Miller and Camden Sheridan. And let's look real quick at the history between these two teams here on the Ryan Gunn and All About Smiles Dentistry. Last year, Cedar won pretty dominant, 33-7. Caleb Pauley ran for 106 yards, and Kelling had 4 touchdown passes. The year before, in 2023, Canyon View's Jackson Jensen threw for 3 touchdown passes and 275 yards, and Canyon View won, squeaked out a 20-17 win. But mostly, this series has been dominated. This Coal Creek Classic has been dominated by Cedar.
And people want to call it something else, but who else has Coal Creek? And who else really has Coal Creek is the boundary line between the two schools, the parts of town, and whatever. But that's what it says on the traveling trophy, is the Coal Creek Classic, if you want to know where we're getting that from. But yeah, it has been one that was dominated by Cedar. We had some really good games early. There was a team that I coached as freshmen that ended up having 15 All-Staters, first, second, or honorable mention. 8 of them at Cedar, 7 of them at Canyon View, and yeah, I did lose a game with those guys. So yeah, a poor coaching job on my part. When you have 15 kids that are eventual All-State football players, you shouldn't lose football games. And 2 of the better kids from Canyon View didn't play, or maybe there would have been 17 and Canyon View would have won. But there were some good games early. Canyon View scored the first touchdown in the rivalry at Cedar High. Ran James through a touchdown pass. I don't remember to who, but there was snow on the ground and it was cold and it was miserable that night. But the Reds were able to win, I think, 28-7. You might even fact check me on that one. I bet I'm right. And it's been exciting and fun as the kids out here tonight. It's getting to where the guys that I coached from Canyon View, that live in the Canyon View boundaries and played for Cedar, their kids are gone now, but it's a fun thing for the town and the community, especially to come right here to SUU that's kind of in the center of the field, and to get to play on a college field is always exciting, because they're just a little better than high school fields, and the bleachers are by far better, and it runs north and south.
I don't know if I could ever, if you'll ever do a game with Canyon View involved that you won't mention.
No, I won't.
North and South.
I won't. And you know what? The sad part about it is I know whose fault it is, and it wasn't one person that is at Canyon View or has ever been at Canyon View. May the man rest in peace. I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but we did share a birthday. I'll let you in on that fact. Yeah, it runs the wrong way, and it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. The only answer I ever got was, well, there's no rule against it. Well, like, Mark Twain said, common sense is not that common.
Tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard here at the Dr. Ryan Gunn All About Smiles Dentistry halftime show, and Cedar will get the ball to start second half action. We'll take another quick timeout and be back in 2 minutes on KSUB 590 107.3. What year was that game when you coached and lost to Canyon View?
Like 96, or no, that we lost?
That you were saying
98, 99, somewhere right there.
18-10, Cedar won.
Try the next year. The very next year we lost, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. 99, 2000. Looks like no Cedar that year. That's all right. No scores still on Deseret News?
No, there's scores, but not really from our region. I can give you some, though.
Okay. We'll do that if we have time before. They'll probably put an extra minute or two on the clock the way things are going.
Mostly the scores. Yeah, we've got some, but they haven't changed and they haven't updated, really.
Let's see.
I thought maybe Coach Corey Nelson, who remembers all things, would be texting me by now and telling me who won that.
Cleve, you talked about it some, or quite a bit actually, that Canyon View's kind of controlled that line of scrimmage. The running game is working. They've got 155 rushing yards in that first half. The most that Cedar had allowed in a game this season. They allowed 128 rushing yards to Dixie and Manti both. That was the max before tonight in the entire game.
Yeah, and the Reds have been kind of handled up front, and you know, Wanker has had some big hits, but for the most part, Canyon View has got a helmet on them. On our Rally Stop Region Roundup, we've got we got Manti 21, North San Pete 7. We got Richfield 21, Juab 14, and those are the scores. So all competitive games tonight across the region, the 3A South region. Other scores, we've got Kanab 29, Enterprise 12. We've got Beaver 28, Parowan 7 in the 1A South. In the 8-player football, Milford 45, Water Canyon 0. We don't have a score of the Penguich football game, but Whitehorse ahead of Monticello 22-21 at the half. And of course, Whitehorse, the number 1 RPI team in 1A 8-man football.
That's your Rally Stop Region Roundup. Again, Rally Stop, top-tier gasolines, first-class customer service, and the cleanest restrooms in town. From I-80 in the north to St. George in the south, there's a Rally Stop station near you. 14-14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Cedar scored the first 14. Canyon View answered with 14 straight, and each team has 1 turnover. Cedar's was not costly. It came right at the end of that first half, and they'll get it to start second half action.
And the Reds, because of the kick-in situation from the Falcons, they've changed who's out there, both because of how they've kicked off and where they're going to now kick off from, is because of the penalty. They are going to kick off from the 25-yard line, I believe it is. Ryan?
Yeah, a 15-yard penalty. Normally they'd kick off from the 40, so Canyon View to kick from its own 25. And is that Parsons back to return for
Parsons
Cedar?
back there by himself, and Williams and DeMille and Martin here on the next row. And one of them will probably be the ones that are the ones that capture the ball.
Canyon View's kicker,
Go ahead.
Jackson Berry has kicked 2 touchbacks on 25 kickoff attempts coming into tonight.
And this won't be one of those.
No. Averages about 55 yards per kickoff, and Parsons comes up and fields it at the 20. Running left, a lot of room, out to the 30, 40, across the 50, breaks open to the 40, makes one miss at the 30, and he's finally caught from behind, drags him to the 20. A monster return for Parsons, and Cedar starts just how they want to.
And yeah, right at the 19-yard line of the Falcons, and they will look to score quickly, as the Reds have done every time they've had exceptional field position. They have scored tonight, and so big plays sometimes are what win when you don't have a good, solid outing offensively.
All the way to the Canyon View 19 is where they spot it. We'll give Parsons 61 yards on that kick return. And that sets up Cedar in the Canyon View red zone. Inside the 20, Kelling from the gun. He's got 80 passing yards in the first half. Gives to DeMille, big hole right side inside the 15. Plows ahead inside the 10 for a first down at the 8.
And Braxton DeMille, the ball carrier, number 35 for the Reds, as the plays are signaled in from the sideline.
Braxton DeMille, number 1 in 3A in rushing yards this season, came into the game with close to 900 yards on the ground and 8 touchdowns. He's got one more touchdown tonight. Twins out to the left on a 1st and goal. And in motion from left to right, Kelling fakes the handout. He does give it to DeMille up the middle, and he's able to pick his way inside the 7 to about the 6.
You know, and Kelling does something that a lot of quarterbacks don't do. His motion looks the same whether he gives the ball or he doesn't, whether it's a fake or not. He runs the same thing every time. He's not a quarterback. A lot of quarterbacks are lazy, but when you run the same stuff and you move the same way every time, it's going to make your safety freeze a little bit, and it's kind of like being a good blocker.
DeMille on the right hip of Kelling in the gun for 2nd and goal at the 7. Crane in motion. Kelling hands off, and DeMille in the backfield wrapped up and then hit hard. The ball may have come loose.
It did come out, and they're calling him down. Down on contact. One thing I really like about playing on this college field is the play clock on the field, and that's one thing that Cedar High maybe needs to look to add.
Excuse me, a loss of 4.
And it could have been worse. He slipped out of a tackle at about a loss of 7.
Back to the 11 for a 3rd and goal. Cedar and Canyon View tied at 14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Trips right, ball on the left hash. One man out to the left side. And DeMille goes in motion out to the right. Kelling back, looking to throw, has time over the middle, throws and caught. It looked like it was over the head of one receiver, but right into the hands of, is it Crowley?
I believe so. I was too busy watching the guy that went right over his hands.
I think Kelling knew who he was throwing it to, and he hit him right on the numbers in the front end of the end zone.
Well, and Crowley knew who he was throwing it to. It's just me and Braden Crane that thought he was throwing to Braden Crane.
So Everett Kelling with his 19th touchdown of the season. Only one guy has more touchdowns than that, and that's Manti's quarterback, Carter Mason, who came into tonight with 20 passing touchdowns. Double tap ammo straight shooting PAT attempt is up and through the uprights, puts Cedar back on top, 21-14 on the State Bank scoreboard. And we'll take a quick timeout with the kickoff coming up in 1 minute on KSUB 590, 107.3. Just happened. Cedar's kickoff fielded by Canyon View, a short return out just across the 20, and Canyon View will take over, trailing 21-0 on the State Bank scoreboard. 9:45 left, third quarter on the We Win injury
21-14.
What did I say?
Nothing.
21-14, thank you.
I was like, where'd that
Not
score
quite.
come from? Cedar gained a touchdown, Canyon View lost 2.
Everett Kelling had missed on 4 consecutive passes, 3 incompletions and an interception before that 11-yard touchdown pass moments ago that put Cedar back on top, 21-14. Thank you, Cleve. Ryder Miller running the option, keeps it himself, slips a tackle 20, 30, out to the 20 or 35-yard line.
And tackle there by Maddox Harris. And, you know, there is still a place in the game of football for option. It may be from in the shotgun, but that was 100% triple option there from the Falcons.
14 yards and a first down out to the 36. And that, again, Cedars previously, their defense, the most that rushing yards they'd allowed in a game was 128 against both Dixie and Manti. And tonight, Canyon View is approaching 170 rushing yards. They've got a first down at their own 36. Miller gives it to Sheridan, left side, and not much room this time. Cedar says, no, we are good on rushing defense, a gain of 1. And that wasn't Sheridan on the carry. That was Chase Jacobson.
And Sinigini and Persons there for the tackle for the Reds as the Falcons ran the ball away from Wanker.
1 yard on the carry for Chase Jacobson, a sophomore running back. 21-14, Cedar leads, 8:33 left on the We Win injury law clock. 2 receivers right, 1 left. And Miller in the gun, quarterback keeper all the way, and he is leveled and spun down just beyond the line of scrimmage, 37, maybe the 38.
And Wanker doesn't just tackle you, he doesn't just hit you, he tries to punish you.
A gain of 1 for Miller. He's at 12 carries for 84 yards. But Canyon View faces a 3rd and 8 from its own 38-yard line. 7:57 left, third quarter. 21-14, Cedar leads on the State Bank scoreboard. We'll have your state rushing leaders brought to you by Brad's Food Hut coming up during this third quarter action. Canyon View quickly to the line. Twins left on the short side of the field. Miller back to throw, running right, sets up a screen, throws. He's got his man across the 40, very close to a first down at the 45. Goes Camden Sheridan, but he's going to be about a half a yard, maybe a yard short.
And big decision here for the Falcons. Early in this game, you know, conventional football knowledge says you punt it, but I would go for it too, just like the Falcons are.
They're out there to go for it. Sheridan's 15th reception of the season. And Miller, the quarterback keeper, pushes forward, gets a bit of a push from guys behind as we see everybody do it every level now.
Yep.
The tush push, and it's enough to move the chains.
That was a penalty back in the old days called aiding the runner, and you couldn't do that. And you always had that called in early in freshman games. As we have a Reds player on the field, he keeps rolling a little bit, but not enough we can see his number.
Well, we'll hope that he's okay. Again, Brock Neighbors went down hard earlier for Canyon View. He got up a couple minutes later and walked off on his own power, shaking his head, and we've seen him back in the game tonight, so good to see that he's okay. We'll hope this Cedar Red is all right, too. In the meantime, we'll take this opportunity to thank one of our sponsors, Brad's Food Hut. Before, during, or after the game, rush on over to Brad's Food Hut. From Bronco burgers, fish and chips, sandwiches and salads, delicious specialty sides to ice cream and treats and drinks and more. Brad's Food Hut, where everyone leaves happy. The top 3 rushers in the state are in the 3A South, and it starts with Cedar's Braxton DeMille, who came in at 865 yards. I've got him at another 34, so he's at almost 900 rushing yards on the season.
And playing hurt tonight.
And averaging almost 124 rushing yards per game. Second was Manti's Tala Taulapapa, who comes in to the night at 726 yards, and you hear a round of applause as that Cedar Red is helped up and off.
And that's Cam Hasler, number 60, the big defensive tackle for the Reds.
The third leading rusher in the state was Brock Richards, who's averaging 145 yards per game, but it only ran or played in 4 games and had 582 yards and 7 touchdowns in those 4 games for Juab. Canyon View's Ryder Miller was 4th on that list of top rushers in 3A football. Miller in the gun, takes the snap, and again to Bryce Jacobson, who has not had a lot of carries this season, picks up his 2nd carry and runs out to the 49, a gain of 3.
Yeah, and you got to wonder where Sheridan is, and maybe even where the Floyd kid is.
Floyd was a starting running back to start this season, and then just kind of he had 49 carries, 287 yards, was averaging 6 yards per carry, and then they just stopped giving it to him.
Is he injured?
I'm not sure.
You know, when it comes to Cedar High football, I kind of get the inside scoop because I work there, but Falcons I don't hear much about. Maybe I'll text his dad here in a minute and ask him.
2nd down and 7, ball near midfield. Falcons, Miller, hands again to Jacobson across midfield to the 49 of Cedar, a gain of 2. Oh, that was Sheridan on the ball on the carry that time.
Brings up 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. I don't know, probably 6.
A 3rd and 6. Just on the Cedar side of the 50. 21-14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Reds, a long kick return to start second half action. Parsons took it all the way to the 19 of Canyon View. They scored just a couple plays later. Hard clap from Canyon View's Ryder Miller at quarterback, and a flag flies, but not on the line of scrimmage. Delay of game. I think Canyon View thought, hey, we got the offsides, but no, they get the delay of game. And instead of 3rd and 6, 3rd and 11 from their own 46.
Hard to do that long count when you don't have a long time to snap the ball. I thought for sure that he had jumped, but he didn't. The defensive lineman came across. From here it looked like the ball, but he did not enter the neutral zone.
So a 3rd and 11 for Canyon View. Miller in the gun with 2 receivers right. Back to throw, has time on an out and overthrows his intended receiver. Diving to the sideline was Cole Cavalieri. No, that's not Cole. That's Preston Higgins, who couldn't get to the ball, and it's 4th and 11.
And you'll see the punt team run on as number 21, Brevin Williams, comes to return this kick.
A couple different guys have punted for Canyon View this season. Jackson Beckstrom and Brexton Roundy both average about 30 yards per punt. This one gets a good punt on it and away from the return man. Bounces all the way inside the 10, then scooped up at the 6, across the 10 on the return to the 15 before a few Falcons bring him down.
And you know, a brave thing to do, if you ask me, to pick up that ball and run with it when everybody's running down there to kill you, as the Reds take the ball over deep in their own territory, from which they have not been very successful this evening. They've been much better in the short field position. See if they can mount a drive against the Falcons' imposing defense.
4:44 left in the 3rd quarter on the We Win injury law clock. 21-14, Reds lead the Canyon View Falcons. Both in the 3A South this year. Kelling takes the snap and DeMille goes up the middle. And Braxton DeMille picks up 3, maybe 4 to the 19.
Falcons doing a good job swarming there to make that tackle.
DeMille up over 900 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns this season. He's gone over 100 yards 5 times this year in 7 games. And a steady contributor on the ground.
And he would have last week had he not gotten hurt.
2 receivers left on a ball on the left hash, 2nd and 6. Parsons comes in motion to this near side. DeMille gets it up the middle and shifts his way all the way across the 30. Breaks free to the 35, to the 40, or no, the 38. They finally bring him down, a 19-yard gain.
And DeMille doing a great job, and a shifty runner there. You know, last week I'm on the radio and I say how much faster he is than his dad was. A guy listening at home hears it, texts him in the stands, he hits me up about it, and I just said, hey, Am I right or am I right?
Uh-huh.
He said, you're right. I said,
You're
okay,
right.
leave me alone then.
1st and 10, Cedar Reds at their own 38. Again, Twins left, one man wide out to the right. And Crane comes in motion from left to right. Kelling fakes the handoff to the left side. Tons of space all the way down the sideline to the 30. To the 21 man to beat. Cuts back in at the 15 and goes down to the 11.
And, you know, when you do that great ride every time, even when you're pulling it, it gives you that angle around that corner, and Everett doing a fantastic job. And you know, if you listen on the radio, everybody knows I love Everett. I even told his mother what a great kid he was this week. And
she already knows.
She already knows, but I'll tell you what, you appreciate those kind of things when you have kids, you know, because so many times you're hearing bad things about them, especially when I teach at school. Everybody wanted to tell me every dumb thing my kids did.
50 yards all the way down to the 12 on that carry by Kelling. He takes the snap. Whistles will stop the action. Play clock down to 2, but we had some movement on the line. I think this will be a false start against Cedar, just their second penalty of the night. Those leading rushers that we talked about earlier tonight, brought to you by Brad's Food Hut before, during, or after the game. Rush on over to Brad's Food Hut. They've got all your favorite food, burgers, fish and chips, sandwiches, salads, ice cream, treats, drinks, and more. Brad's, where everyone leaves happy. So instead of a 1st and 10, a 1st and 15, pushed out to the 17 of Canyon View. Cedar leads 21-14. Double reverse. Crane gets it, running left. Does get a block, makes a man miss to the 5, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown. Had some blocking on that far sideline.
Even Everett's willing to go block.
It was even Everett.
He'll throw it, he'll run it, he'll block for you. That's the mark of a good quarterback and a good leader. He does the hard things too. Because I'll tell you what, he has not spent a lot of time in blocking drills in his life. I guarantee that one.
Braden Crane end around. So they first pitched it pitched it to DeMille, who pitched it to Crane coming around from the right side. And here's your double tap ammo, straight shooting PAT attempt that would make it a 2-score game. The kick is up and through the uprights. You can only ever be as accurate as the ammo you shoot, manufactured right here in Cedar City for over 20 years now. Visit doubletapammo.com. That's the straight shooting PAT. And Cedar scoring in bunches. They scored the first 14, then Canyon View scored 14. Now Cedar 14 straight. They lead 28-14.
And doing this one in a little bit of rain.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
I noticed that when you can't really see it, but then you look off to the edge and you can see it coming down through the lights. You can't see it down on the field at all, but if you look right up in the lights, you can see that.
And Cleve, you'd mentioned how Cedar, with a short field, their offense had worked. This time a long field. They started at their own 15.
Well, you know, that big run there by DeMille helped them out immensely on making the long field a short field.
2:34 left in the third quarter on the We Win injury law clock. That drive, 5 plays, 85 yards. DeMille had a long run of 38, or of 19, and then Everett Kelling had a 50-yard run as well. Here's the kickoff, fielded at the 5. Canyon View's return to the 20, dances across the 22 to the 23. And that is Ryder Miller on the return, the quarterback. Not often you'll see a quarterback returning kicks.
Well, you know, they did start him at wide receiver tonight, so maybe they figured they could get away with that.
Cedar has scored 2 straight touchdowns. They lead 28-14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Canyon View looking for an answer from its own 23. 2 minutes, 26 seconds left in this third quarter. Canyon View attacking right to left from our view. They have the ball in the left hash. Canyon View in the home blacks, Cedar in the road whites. Miller from the gun takes the snap and fakes the handoff, keeps it left side, gets a hole across the 30 out toward the sideline to the 31, and a gain of 7.
And Miller doing a nice job on that option as well. His running back not getting quite as fast as DeMille has, so his rides aren't quite as good, but doing a nice job tonight.
Cedar has found an answer so far in this second half for Camden Sheridan, just 2 carries for about 5 yards. 2 receivers wide right, ball on the left hash for a 2nd and 2. And up the middle goes, I think, Sheridan to the 33. Will be very close to a first down.
I think you're right there. And Kanab up now 50-12 over Enterprise.
They do give him enough for the first down on a 2-yard gain from Sheridan.
And Beaver up 41-6 against Parowan.
There's your rally stop region roundup. Keeps on coming from Cleve Weaver.
And Milford now 59-0 over Water Canyon.
Wow. 2 receivers right. Miller in the gun. Quarterback keeper, no, he wants to throw. Nothing there, so he tucks and runs out around the left side, steps out of bounds at the 37, a gain of 4.
And so now, to correct the world, Monticello up 42-28 against Whitehorse. I was starting to doubt the whole world right there for a minute.
The world is back in order.
Yep. All it takes is one score in a football game. Everything's good.
28,
what a simple guy.
28-14 here at SUU. Canyon View, the home team, but this crowd, they tried to have this game 2 years ago at Canyon View, and it was just too many people to fit at Canyon View High School.
Too many people to park. And tonight, everybody's parked who knows where, because I'm a good half-mile away.
1:05 left, third quarter. Sheridan gets the handoff up the middle. He kind of dashes off to the right across the 40 all the way to the 44. Will move the chains. A gain of 7.
If I'd known I was going to have to park that far away, I may have taken an Uber.
If you'd have
ever
asked,
taken an Uber in Cedar?
Not in Cedar, no. I
haven't either, but I hear they have them.
I've got Camden Sheridan at 99 rushing yards on 18 carries.
Just over 5 yards a carry for him.
Under a minute to go in the third quarter on the We Win injury law clock. And Canyon View with a 1st and 10 near midfield at their own 44. Miller fakes the handoff, runs right side, gets the corner, 50 to the 45 of Cedar, stops and then steps out of bounds to avoid a hit, a gain of 11 and a first down into Cedar territory.
And it's easy to see for me why Miller is the 3rd leading rusher in all of 3A. He does a nice job carrying that football.
Very quick. He came into the game 575 rushing yards, averaging 8 yards per carry, and now, including a 17-yard touchdown tonight, has 10 rushing touchdowns.
And a little bit like Franco Harris, smart enough to never take the big hit.
Just jump out of the way,
Just
right?
get out of the way, yeah.
Why take that hit? There's Neighbors coming off to the sideline and then back in on his spot. He took a big hit earlier and is back out there. Sheridan handoff up the middle, pushes forward, got a nice initial hole, but Cedar closed it in a hurry, a gain of 4 yards to the 41. And that puts Sheridan, at least by my stats, up above 100 rushing yards, his second 100-plus rushing yard performance of the season. That also takes us to the end of the third quarter. Just 12 minutes left on the We Win injury law clock. Cedar leads 28-14. They outscored Canyon View 14-0 in the third quarter. The Falcons driving. We'll see how they do when we return in 1 minute with fourth quarter action on KSUB 590 107.3.
We'll see you back here at Echo Coliseum on Saturday, October 18th, 6:30 p.m. at the Thunderbird.
Who does SUU play tomorrow?
Tarleton State out of Stevens.
person I'm named after is
Okay.
Cleveland. And my dad is Kimball, after his grandma. I'm after a great-grandma Cleveland. He's Talbot's after his grandma Talbot, so there you go.
28-14, Cedar leads on the State Bank scoreboard. Canyon View putting together a drive. Snap to Miller, fakes the run, then throws. He's got his man Sheridan on the catch, dodges a tackle at the 28 and all the way down to the 20.
That's not something you see very often. That's like the reverse draws. He dove towards the line, backed up, and then threw it to a wide-open Sheridan. A great play call as the Falcons look to put some points on the score in this second half, as they're now down at the 20-yard line of the Reds.
Ryder Miller, 3 of 7 for 45 yards through the air, but has 107 rushing yards. Pistol formation with Sheridan behind him in the gun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff one way, and then gives to Sheridan up the middle, and nothing doing up the gut. Sheridan does push forward for 1 or 2 to the 19.
The Reds defense swarming there. The Reds are shading in and out on that on that defensive line right now. You got Uriah Sinagini, Rake Marsh, Stockton Ramos, and Persons.
2nd and 9. Canyon View at the Cedar 19, trailing 28-14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Miller hands to Sheridan. He looked like he was bottled up in the backfield, somehow squeaked free and gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Sheridan hits the Reds defensive end and then bounces off him and then gets some positive yards, as he looked like he was down in the backfield.
Sheridan at 21 carries for 104 yards by my tally, but a 3rd and long for Canyon View. They need 9 yards to move the chains, and they trail by 2 touchdowns with 10:30 left in the We Win Injury Law Clock. We've got your look ahead coming up, brought to you by Midtown Tire and Auto, and your JRI Insurance Region wrap-up coming up after the game. Stay tuned. 2 receivers left. Miller rolling out to his left, has protection, throws and leads his man too far. Running to his left, throwing to his left, incomplete.
And that's a hard thing to do, is run to your left and throw left, because if you don't get your shoulders turned, that ball's going to sail away from your receiver, just like that one did. If you don't get your shoulders turned and throw off the wrong foot, I know that doesn't make any sense, but you've got to throw it more like a shortstop off your right foot than your regular left foot. You're just not going to be able to complete that one. And he didn't quite get that foot down, and that's exactly what happened.
28-14 Reds lead on the State Bank scoreboard. Canyon View facing a 4th and 9 will go for it at the Cedar 19. Miller drops the snap, picks it up, moves to his left, dances back to his right, and finds some room inside the 10 and slides forward to the 11, to the 6. Somehow a broken play turns into a big gain, and Miller moves the chains. Was his knee down?
They're going to say no, but and we'll trust Gene on this one. But, Ryder's a gamer.
Boy, it looked like his knee was down when he scooped that ball up in the backfield. But
it looked like he was going to get clobbered by the Reds defense.
13 yards, a 1st down, and a 1st and goal for Canyon View. They convert on that 4th down, give to Camden Sheridan up the middle. Breaks 1 tackle, can't break 2 or 3 more at the 6. Maybe got to the 5.
Close to the 5, if not to the 5.
2-3 Reds in there on the tackle. Camden Sheridan's last 3 runs have been for just 1 yard each.
But his reception, that was a pretty good reception.
That was a big one, 21 yards. He averages 18 yards per catch this season.
Canyon View's got a solid football team. They can put together a pretty good run. Maybe the Reds will meet them right now, if it stays the way they are, they'll meet in the quarterfinals.
Canyon View started this drive at its own 23. They're at the Reds 5. Sheridan gets it again. Nope, Miller keeps it right side. Dives ahead to the 2. 3rd and goal from the 2 coming up.
I think they're going to mark him at the 3.
Out at the 3, thank you.
Well, this is some tough angles. We're sitting about the 28, 32-yard line on the other end, so it's a tough angle. I'm actually watching through the other booth.
So a 3rd and goal for the Canyon View Falcons at the Cedar Reds 3. 28-14, Reds lead. Twins left. One man wide right. Miller takes the snap. Pressure comes, and he gave it to Sheridan, but both of them were bottled up in the backfield. Wouldn't have mattered who had it, and a late flag flies in after a loss of 3.
Well,
Sheridan, go ahead.
It's going to be a 15-yard penalty whichever way it goes right here.
Sheridan gets moving to his right, and with a defender coming in, he likes that spin back toward the middle. It didn't work that time, and he lost a few. Boy, this could be pivotal. If it's against Cedar, that's an automatic, or possibly an automatic first down for Canyon View.
They're debating this one hard, and they're discussing it. They're going to get this right.
Against Canyon View, they'd be pushed back to around the 21.
It'd be a hard place to kick a field goal from, really, for most high school kickers.
Yep.
But the way they're acting like it's going to be in their favor.
And Canyon View this season just 1 of 2 on field goals. They've only attempted a couple, at least according to the stats. Unsportsmanlike against the Cedar Reds.
Somebody's mother is disappointed now.
So, So Canyon View taking a timeout. We'll keep it right here on a Fizz on 56 timeout. Did he say remains 4th down?
Yes.
So the penalty was after the play was over, and they walk it off half the distance to the goal, and it remains 4th down. So a 4th and goal at about the 2.5.
Yep.
Okay.
And on your rally stop region roundup, Richfield 28, Juab 21 now. Mantide 21, North Sanpete 7. And we still are not getting, now we have a 10-0 Morgan score over Grantsville, an important game to the Reds fans. And Ogden winning 21-12 at Union, a usual kind of not a very good team in Ogden. Pretty solid this year. Their coach doing a good job with those kids, gotten some numbers out and playing hard.
Fizz on 56 with hundreds of signature menu items and thousands of drink combinations. Refresh yourself at Fizz on 56 at the corner of Cross Hollow Road and Aviation Way. It's the only Fizz in town that is locally owned. So a 4th and goal following that unsportsmanlike penalty gives Canyon View
biggest play of the game right here, Ryan.
28-14. Cedar leads with 8:09 left to play on the We Win Injury Law Clock. Touchdown here. Canyon View's still in it. If Cedar can stuff them, that might, well, of course, plenty of time left, but Canyon View with Miller in the gun takes the snap. Throws to his right. Ball is tipped, picked off at the 10, to the 20, and out in front of everybody. 30 to the 40, into Canyon View territory with a wall of blockers and one man to beat, to the 10, to the 5, and close to the end zone. Cedar Reds are saying touchdown. The officials.
Well, the officials are not even close. It's a touchdown. The officials are 40 yards behind. It looks like I'm running down the field trying to get there. And number 10, junior toe guy Bloomfield, the recipient of that interception and the scorer of the touchdown, and a huge turn of events there as the ball changes 97 yards.
A 97-yard touchdown return, and you're right, the officials, when Bloomfield crossed or got near the end,
there's like, we'll take your word for it. You're celebrating. We weren't even close.
And what a change of fortunes there for Canyon View.
And I love Gene, but at 65 years old, he's not getting there as the referee.
With the double tap ammo PAT up and through, instead of 28 and maybe 21 for Canyon View, the interception returned all the way back for a score for Cedar, and they make it 35-14 on the State Bank scoreboard.
And Cedar, getting the score on the interception in the short field. Then they get the big kickoff and the short field. And then they finally get the long drive and the touchdown, and they get another decent drive. And now to make things very, very, very difficult for the Falcons, they get the big interception return. as the Falcons just could not get the ball in that end zone.
Well, and the team effort there for Cedar, because there were 3 or 4 Falcons at least that had caught up to Togai. Is it Togai Bloomfield?
Yep.
But the wall of blockers, they protected him. They kept him on his feet.
And the wall, really, all they did was just slow down and run in front of him, which is really wise. A lot of kids want to turn around and hit them, and they miss and get penalties. But they just tried to run them, kind of slow them down. And eventually the Falcons tripped on each other, and then he just had one guy when I'm sure he was out of gas because his legs were gone.
So 7:46 left to play on the We Win injury law clock. Kickoff bounces and takes a Cedar bounce at the 3. Canyon View has to field. Returned out to the 10 and close to the 15. Maybe pushing out to the 16 on the return. Canyon View is in a hole now, trailing 35-14 with 7:39 to play.
You're down 4 scores, and 7 minutes and 39 seconds. You've done most of your damage on the ground. You're in a tough situation here for the Falcons.
Canyon View quarterbacks a combined 4 of 13 for 44 yards, 2 interceptions, and both of those interceptions have directly led to Cedar points.
Yes, one exclusively and one almost there. But the rain has stopped, I think.
Yeah.
It looks like it from here. But the Reds in a good situation. The Falcons have played hard. You cannot take one thing away from these boys. They've played really hard. I think Burke Miller has had an excellent game plan ready for them. The Sheridan kid has ran his little heart out and made the Reds defense earn it. But with 7:39 left, they are 21 down, and they are in a bad way.
So Canyon View, a lot of ground to try and make up. And on the ground is what they go to. Camden Sheridan running left, and the Reds have bottled him up in this second half. He had 86 rushing yards in the first half. He's at about 20 rushing yards so far in the second.
Yeah, and his last 4 carries, what is he at, 4 yards?
1, 1, 1, -2, and 0.
Well, they're going to give him 1 on this one, so that's where they mark this one, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that's 1?
Yeah.
I thought they had him at none, but they had him at 1.
So a 2nd and 9. Canyon View trails with 7 minutes left to go. 35-14 Reds with the lead. Sheridan gets it again around the left side, finds a little more room. I thought he had more, but the Reds quickly wrap him up and bring him down 19. That's a 3-yard gain.
And, you know, that they play Rake Marsh and they play Caleb Brinkerhoff there at that D end. And Rake Marsh just a little quicker and make things happen more so than Brinkerhoff. And Purse plays a little different kind of a defensive end than you see out of Persons and Brinkerhoff.
Cedar Reds come in undefeated at 7-0 and 3-0 in the region. Richfield at 3-1 in the region before tonight's games. Canyon View a 1-2, a surprise loss against North San Pete a couple weeks ago. But a 3rd and 6 here. Miller back to throw, fakes the throw, then throws deeper down the sideline and just overthrows his intended receiver. I think that's Brock Neighbors.
I think you're correct on that one, and Harris doesn't see that coming but gets an arm on it as Williams drops back to receive the punt.
So with 6:10 left to play and Cedar leading 35-14 on the State Bank of Southern Utah scoreboard, Canyon View is lined up to punt this one away. And it may be a short field for Cedar. Good snap, and the lefty punter, a high punt, gets some good air under it. Fair catch called for at the Canyon View 42 by Parsons.
Brevin Williams.
Oh, Brevin Williams, thank you.
Brevin Williams for the catch. When they kind of try to save Parsons' body there and not make him one that's in territory and stuff, and Williams doing a great job. Both the Williams boys, twins. A sophomore's pretty small and not very physically mature, but they've really grown into themselves and doing an excellent job helping out the Reds here.
So at the Canyon View 43 is where Cedar will start this drive. Trips left, ball on the right hash. Kelling in the gun, hands off, and DeMille, big hole up the middle. Cuts against the grain, then back to his right, inside the 30, inside the 20, spins free to the 10-5 touchdown.
And it's coming back on the penalty right at the 25-yard line.
What a run by Braxton DeMille, keeping his feet through being spun around, cutting away from players, but the touchdown negated. The flag down at the 25. Is that a hold?
Yes.
There's been not a lot of penalties in this game. I've got that as just the 7th penalty total between the two teams, the 4th against Cedar.
And that's going to be it's going to be a repeat of first down, but it'll be first down and 3.
So DeMille goes 43 yards for the score, but only gains 9 on the stat book. And gains 7 on the stat book. He gets it again, makes one man miss, and pushes forward close to a first down at the 32.
And one referee's got him for forward progress for a first down, and he's the one to the chains, and so he's going to be the one that counts. He's trying to hold them up, saying, no, hold the chains where they are, and eventually he wins out. No, they're going to – I don't know how that was, but anyway. They mark it back, and it's a first down.
First down for the Reds. Falcons need a Carter Creek Concrete to go defensive stop. They need a few of them if they want to get back in this one.
In a hurry with 5:45 left in the game.
Trailing 35-14. Give again to DeMille, right side, and a big hole. And again, a flag flies in from the backside, but DeMille all the way inside the 30 to the 24.
You know, if you're watching Brent Martin, he is used as the lead fullback. He's used as the pulling guard, and we got a couple flags. One of them is going to be on the coach, and one of them is going to be on one of the players, and we're going to see where it is. And that ref was standing right in front of Coach Hyatt when he threw that one emphatically. How much height do you think he got on that one?
On that flag?
Yeah, I think he's getting about 27 feet up in the air on that one.
It went way.
An excellent toss.
So there's a hold penalty against Cedar. There's also an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the Cedar Reds. I've got a brother-in-law named Brent Martin, and every time you say his name, I think of
your brother-in-law?
My brother-in-law in Virginia.
Oh,
who's probably out hunting right now.
Well, good for him.
Or, yeah, because it's a Friday night. If it was Saturday, he'd be watching Georgia football. So big penalties walked off clear back to the Cedar 48.
And I'm sure, I guarantee you, that the coach said, it's not your job to keep this close. And the referee said, watch me.
30 yards.
Because they don't like to hear that.
30 yards walked off clear back to the 48 of Cedar. And Cedar does the same thing. Give to DeMille. Up the middle, big hole. Few Falcons meet him right at midfield, and he pushes forward to the 46 for a gain of 6.
Yeah, and a time where, as a coaching staff, you've got to keep your calm about you and make it be a good example for the kids, because the kids have had a hard enough time staying calm tonight without coaches' inflammatory actions.
Gain of 6 on first down brings up a 2nd and 25-ish. They need the Canyon View 22 to move the chains. Trips right. Martin comes in motion, and they give to DeMille again. Big hole up the middle. Breaks a tackle at the 40 to the 35. Still pushing on his feet. He got all the way to the 30. They stopped his progress with a whistle at the 34, though.
And the Reds almost back to the line of scrimmage. And this ball's moved so much, I don't know if we want to call it the original line of scrimmage or not, but it still brings up a 3rd down and 12 for the Reds.
And that puts Braxton DeMille, by my stats, at 14 carries for 86 yards and a touchdown. It came early in the game.
And it brings Daxton DeMille into the game.
35-14. Canyon View scored 14 straight points in the second quarter. They had tied it up, but Cedar with 14 straight points in the third. And another touchdown here in the fourth. They lead by 3 scores. On a 3rd and 11, Daxton DeMille gets it running right, lots of room, and then tripped up about the 26. Will bring up a 4th and 4.
And you've got to be able to read that that's a run right off the get-go, as the Reds had both of their 2 far receivers were on the line of scrimmage, and when that second wide receiver in the end goes downfield to block you, you know that's run all the way. as if he does that on a pass, it is an ineligible receiver.
Because of where he's lined up on the line.
Because of where he's lined up on the line. They had 2 wide receivers wide and then 2 slots on the inside.
4th and 4, under 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes to go on the We Win injury law clock, and a hard
That'll
count.
Be a first down on the 4th down.
Canyon View jumps off sides, and Cedar was faced with a first and about 35. They work their way forward, pick up the first down on a penalty.
And then if you're naming this series right here, you're going to call it the series of penalties, because that's been the telltale of the whole drive right here, offensively and defensively.
A first down for Cedar at the 21 of Canyon View, and I'm sure Cedar would be content to not even score on this drive. They lead by 3 touchdowns, and they just want to eat up the clock.
And they're taking their time for a change. And Everett, a kid that just knows football inside and out and doing a great job.
Ty Hyatt, the coach, in his second year, 11-7 at the helm, including 7-0 this season. Twins left, and a man in motion is Crowley, and the handoff up the middle. Not much room, maybe a yard or 2 for, is that Daxton DeMille?
Yes. And Everett's dad, the defensive coordinator for SUU and in Texas tonight, and we wish the Thunderbirds well, as they've had some close games and some heartbreaking losses this year.
3 of their 4 losses have been by 3 points.
2 of them in overtime, right? Or 1?
Yeah, 1 in overtime. Actually, no, 2 in overtime. At San Diego and then here against West Georgia, 2 in overtime. But they're at Tarleton State tomorrow night. You can catch that one on Thunder 91.
And Tarleton State, what, 3rd in the nation?
3rd, yep. Trips to the left for a 2nd and 9. DeMille gets it again. Nothing up the middle. Bounces out around the right corner. Still on his feet, driving forward to the 17. And now looks like they'll spot it right around the 18. A good, tough 2 yards.
And we got a player down. Yep. And one of the Reds players is down on the far sideline, and we can't. Surrounded, and we can't see him.
Guys talk a lot.
Walked on his own to the sideline. It was DeMille.
Oh, good that he got up and walked off. Teams talk a lot about that victory formation, and we haven't seen that yet. But Cedar's this drive has been the victory formation. They've just said, "Stop us."
It's been the victory drive.
Yep.
After this right here.
1.5 left to go on the We Win injury law clock.
And taking all their time, and with the game clock or with the clock on the field, the Reds being able to manage this very effectively.
35-14, Reds lead on the State Bank scoreboard. Man in motion. And Kelling gives up the middle to DeMille, who pushes forward. Quick burst inside the 15 to the 13.
Close to the first down, but not quite there. And we're at 1:04 and counting as the Reds slowly amble back to the line of scrimmage and line up and just kind of patiently wait for the signals from the sideline.
If you're injured in an accident, the clock is ticking. Insurance companies have lawyers working for them all the time. We Win Injury Law will fight and win for you, period. Visit their law office on South Main, Cedar City at 435wewin.com. Under 40 seconds left to play. The Reds look like they'll make it 2 in a row in this series, and they came in with a series series lead, 23 wins to just 5 losses against Canyon View. They'll run the play clock all the way down to 0 and then take a timeout with 29 seconds left to play. This is a Fizz on 56 timeout, and we'll keep it right here to take a look ahead at Midtown Tire and Auto. Regular service with Midtown extends the life of your vehicle and gives you better performance and fuel efficiency. It's also the best way to avoid costly and inconvenient breakdowns. Midtown Tire and Auto. Look for the big tire out front at 433 Main Street. The Reds next week. Cleve, you hitting the road? Are you going to Juab?
I don't know. Chris tells me we might be at Parowan. Enterprise and Parowan. I don't know where that game is. I haven't looked, but we might be there.
Cedar on the road at Juab next week. That'll be an interesting one. Juab
and Canview at Richfield?
That's right, at Richfield. So both these teams on the road next week. That's your Midtown Tire and Auto look ahead. 29 seconds left to play on the We Win Injury Law clock. 35-14, Cedar with the lead. Cedar won this game last year at Cedar, 33-7. Twins left, Kelling in the gun. Keep it itself. And he'll just get the first down and slide down inside the 10 at the 9.
exceptional gamesmanship there, and Coach Hyatt had him coached up on that as all night on this play, had him ready for it, and Everett just a smart player, and this will be it as the Reds go to the sideline, and you will not see another snap.
Kelling had a big game running the football tonight, just 3 carries, but 64 yards. One of them a big carry that set up that last touchdown, that last offensive touchdown that the Reds scored. Defense came up big in the second half. Canyon View had it close at halftime. We were tied at 14, but the Reds dominant in the second half.
And the Reds were big in the second half, and the Reds were big on big plays. They had some good interceptions, one that went for a touchdown, one that took it back to the line, a good kick return after a penalty on the Falcons that kind of hurt the Falcons being able to get it down that far. And the Reds offense steady, if not spectacular, and the defense a little shaky at times tonight, but you got to hand it to Coach Miller and the Falcons. He had his boys ready and prepared, and they did some great things offensively. And like we've said many times, they carried the ball more and got more yards offense than any team has against the Reds all year.
35-14 your final score. We've got the JRI Insurance Region wrap-up and post-game wrap coming up when we return in 2 minutes. Again, the Reds with the win, 35-14 on the State Bank scoreboard. Back in 2 minutes on 107.3 590 KSUB.